Hey everyone, welcome to Spiral Emanations. So it's Christmas week, and actually, does anyone else feel like no matter how hard we try this year, Christmas magic is just slipping through our fingers? I mean, even here in Los Angeles, things are seriously out of the ordinary. Usually it's sun and palm trees, but right now it's pouring rain. Total wet Christmas. I keep thinking I'm going to look outside and see my neighbor's inflatable Santa just floating down the street. Definitely not the usual LA vibe. But it's not just us out here. Reece, you had your own brand of holiday madness over in London, right? Think Santa Claus, Rudolph, Good King Wenceslas, whatever. Actually, now that I say it, I have to admit, I've sung Good King Wenceslas 100 times, but I've never had any clue who he actually was, or why he's even part of Christmas.
He's got a pretty wild backstory for a Christmas Carol character. So, Good King Wenceslaus was a real person. Wenceslaus I, the Duke of Bohemia, which is now part of the Czech Republic. He lived back in the 900s, and the old stories say he was famous for sneaking out of his castle on winter nights to bring food, wine and firewood to people who needed it most. That famous verse, Good King Wenceslaus looked out on the feast of Stephen when the snow lay round about deep and crisp and even, that's based on these legends of him braving heavy snow to help a poor peasant.
Okay, quick confession. I've sung that line about the Feast of Stephen forever, but I literally have no idea what it means. What is that? Like a medieval dinner party?
It actually means St. Stephen's Day, which falls on December 26th, the day after Christmas. Stephen's known as the first Christian martyr, and in a lot of countries, that day is all about acts of charity, looking after people who need a little extra help.
So that's why Wenceslas is out there with bread and wine in the snow. It's not just about being a nice guy, it's like the whole spirit of the season.
Exactly. The carol takes that tradition and turns it into this mini quest for kindness. So you get this image of Wenceslaus braving a blizzard with bread and wine, looking out for people on the toughest night of winter. It's both history and almost a legendary holiday mission rolled into one.
So he was like an actual medieval Christmas superhero. No reindeer, but a lot of trudging through snowdrifts with bread and wine.
Right, and the wild part is he ended up becoming a saint. He was crowned an actual king in legend, even though he was never one officially. And after his death, people all across Europe said his spirit would show up to defend the faithful or to bring miraculous aid in winter. So the carol turns him into this symbol of Christmas kindness. And you've got to admit, the image of a king quietly wandering out into a blizzard to help someone in need is kind of pure holiday magic.
Okay, I'm definitely listening more closely the next time that song pops up. Way more epic than I realized. Honestly, stories like that just make me wonder what other wild Christmas traditions are out there. Reece, what's the holiday madness like in London this year?
Anyway, speaking of holiday madness, London does get into the spirit. But nothing says Christmas like dodging a flying pork shoulder at the Smithfield Market Christmas Eve auction. It's elbows, shouting, and honestly, a kind of organised chaos. If you want a roast here for the holidays, you have to survive the crowd.
That sounds totally wild. I've never heard of the Smithfield auction. What actually goes on there? Is this like local tradition or some kind of secret society stuff?
It's pure old-school London. Smithfield Market is this massive, centuries-old meat market right in the city. On Christmas Eve, the butchers hold this big festive auction and start selling off the last of the Christmas turkeys, hams, even giant cuts of beef. For a lot of families, it's their one shot to snag the centerpiece for their Christmas dinner. People crowd in, shouting bids. Sometimes, folks get a leg of lamb tossed right into their arms. It's been happening for ages, Victorian times, and probably before. Part auction, part street party.
So this is like ancient British Black Friday, except everyone wants a roast instead of a flat screen?
Pretty much, except add way more shouting and the occasional butcher in a Santa hat egging people on. There are stories about people showing up in costume, or the auctioneers making wild deals if you sing a carol loud enough. Sometimes they even give away hunks of meat for charity. I swear, there's a kind of holiday energy that takes over. You end up elbow to elbow with every character in London, all after the same magical Christmas roast. And, to be honest, it kind of feels like that wild Smithfield energy is turning up everywhere this year, not just in London.
Right? I mean, just look at the headlines. First off, you've got Christmas attractions around the country. Absolutely packed, but everyone still leaves disappointed. It's like miles of lines and not enough magic. Then, you've got folks traveling in by the busload to real-life Hallmark movie towns, hoping to get that TV special vibe. And get this, there's a hacker called Santa Stealer out there, going after holiday shoppers. Like, not a movie plot, this is actually happening. Plus, there was a mysterious blue spiral up in the sky over Europe right before Christmas. I saw the videos, and yeah, it was wild. And as if that's not enough, in Miami, there's a giant python camped out up a palm tree. So, yeah, it's a lot. It's almost like the world is running on Christmas chaos right now, not just Christmas cheer.
Totally. With all these wild stories, it feels like something strange is in the air this year. Maybe something deeper going on that just makes it harder for people to really feel that Christmas wonder.
And that's why I'm so excited for today's guest. Bonnie Rodrigues knows this territory better than anyone. She's designed those beautiful, picture-perfect Christmas wonderlands you see in theme parks, and, at the same time, masterminded some truly wild Krampus festivals. Bonnie, for folks who've only seen the memes or pictures online, what's the real story with Krampus?
Krampus is like the dark twin to Santa Claus in the old Alpine legends. Instead of handing out presents, he shows up with horns, fur, and a bundle of birch sticks to give naughty kids a scare. Or, if you look at the older stories, to haul them off in his basket. Every December, especially in Austria and Bavaria, there's Krampusnacht. People get dressed up in wild, hand-carved masks with fangs and fiery eyes and storm through the streets making noise. It's half parade, half exorcism, a way to let a little chaos into the season before everything settles down. And honestly, you can feel the holiday flipping between merry and menacing all in one night. That chaotic spark pops up everywhere this time of year, not just in old legends.
Absolutely. With everything feeling kind of messy and unpredictable, it's no wonder we need someone like Bonnie to help make sense of how traditions shift when the holiday season goes off script.
Yeah, totally. So there's this new analysis. Nomad eSIM put it together and Fox News picked up on it. They dove into TripAdvisor complaints on Christmas spots all over the US. And some of these, you'd think they were can't miss. The actual Santa Claus house up in Alaska, Christkindlmarkt in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Arts Quest runs that one. I always see Christkindlmarkt on flyers, but never actually knew what makes them different. Bonnie, isn't there some kind of angel involved in those?
Yeah, even though Christkindlmarkt just means Christ Child Market, the really special part is the Christkind herself. She's like an angelic figure, usually with a crown and golden robes, who shows up to open the markets and hand out little gifts. In parts of Germany and Austria, she's the one who brings presents to kids, not Santa, and she comes on Christmas Eve. At the best markets, you'll see her leading processions, kind of a mix between an angel, a queen, and a miracle worker.
Yeah, exactly. The Christkind traditions are so magical in person.
That is so much more magical than just a mall Santa. It's funny, these days, Santa looks exactly the same everywhere. All red suit, big beard, like even the inflatable ones around my neighborhood. Did he always show up looking like that, or did somebody, I don't know, brand Santa at some point?
Not even close. The Santa everyone recognizes, rosy cheeks, round belly, that red suit, he didn't really step onto the scene until the 1800s, thanks to a poem called A Visit from St. Nicholas. You probably know it as 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. That's where we get the reindeer, the chimney routine, even the idea of Santa zipping around in one night.
So basically, a viral Christmas poem is why half the world's Santas all look like they work at the same department store?
Pretty much. And then, in the early 1900s, you get artists drawing Santa as extra jolly, with those big boots and a bright red suit, especially in the ads for Coca-Cola. Those pictures were so catchy that they just stuck. It's wild. This legend picks up bits and pieces from everywhere, and then advertising sort of snaps it into one big familiar image. And the weird part is, it worked so well that even folks who grew up with totally different gift bringers started picturing this same impossibly cheery Santa.
Wow, so we're all living in the Coca-Cola Santa timeline. Figures. And here's one I never thought I'd see. There's even a holiday light show inside a Kentucky mine shaft. They're getting hammered with negative reviews. It's not just small stuff either. Like, there's a family from Ohio, 14 people, who paid $1,500 for tickets, and after the trip, they called it poorly managed. That's just one, but it's all over the reviews. It was an expensive light show that didn't feel very Christmas-themed. And another person wrote, $15 to get in. Not like the markets in Germany. And Paul Brown, who runs the Santa Claus house, told reporters, "We're doing everything we can to keep the Christmas dream alive." Even with all that, crowds still keep showing up, searching for some real Christmas magic. Honestly, half my yoga friends have solstice candle rituals or New Year bonfires, but I've never really gotten why lights are such a big part of winter holidays everywhere. Bonnie, has that always been a thing?
Yeah, it's actually much older than Christmas itself. People have been fighting off the winter darkness for thousands of years. Around the winter solstice, usually about December 21st, when the sun barely drags itself above the horizon, cultures all over the world would light fires, candles, anything to push back the dark and bring in a little hope. It's a tradition that stuck around because everyone wants to make the night feel a little brighter this time of year.
So they were just making their own sunrise?
Pretty much. Some cultures would keep a log burning through the whole longest night to call back the sun. Think Yule fires up north, or neighborhoods lined with lanterns. Lighting up the dark was both a survival trick and a way to ask for hope, for warmth, for things to start growing again. Even now, those old rituals echo through Christmas lights strung across streets, trees glowing in windows, candles in every window. Like we can keep that ancient promise to bring light back just by flipping the switch. Still, I think that's why, even with all the lights, people keep searching for something more, hoping to find a bit of that real Christmas magic somewhere out there. Maybe that's why, if people can't find the magic at the regular places, they start looking for it somewhere else. Like the Associated Press followed this wave of Hallmark Christmas movie tourism. Whole bus tours packed with folks chasing those made-for-TV holiday vibes. There's Mayfield tours. They actually run official Hallmark-themed routes through Connecticut. That state alone's been the backdrop for, 22 Christmas movies? One shop owner told the AP, people fly in just to eat at the spot where the actress sat. Seriously. And it's bigger than you'd think. One of the latest tours had 53 fans crammed onto a single bus. And stores say the crowds just don't stop, even after the holidays.
It's almost like everyone's on this quest for movie-style Christmas magic. Only real life keeps falling short. And if folks are getting let down in person, you'd hope digital Christmas would at least throw people a bone. But nope, there's this new thing out there called Santa Stealer. Rapid7 and Fox News have both issued warnings. Basically, it's malware that cybercriminals are renting out, sometimes for $300 a month, and it's all about snagging holiday shoppers. We're talking fake refund emails, sketchy shipping notice scams, and those holiday gift card links that just want your details. According to consumer groups, Americans lose hundreds of millions every December alone to these scams. Like, if you get an email saying, you have a holiday gift card refund? Yeah, don't even open it. Nobody's immune if they're shopping online this year.
It does kind of feel like no matter where you go, theme parks, movie towns, even your inbox, something's just a bit off. And then you look up at the sky, and well, that's weird lately too. SpaceX, NASA, and the UK Met Office all confirmed this Falcon 9 rocket vented fuel way up over Europe, and it made this blue, swirling light show that from the ground looked surreal. And right away, everyone on social media's calling it the new Star of Bethlehem. It was only there for 6 minutes, but people lost it online before the science folks broke it down. I saw someone comment, "Magi, take the wheel." That cracked me up, and honestly, it kind of fits. Because the original star is still one of history's biggest mysteries.
Bonnie, I grew up seeing the Magi in the nativity scene every Christmas, but beyond 3 guys with presents, I have zero clue who they actually were. Weren't they supposed to be like astrologers or wizards or something?
You're actually right, Skye. The Magi were kind of like the ancient world's star watchers and wise people. They came from Persia, that's modern-day Iran, and they were part priests, part astrologers, sometimes even advisors to kings. Magi is even where we get the word magic from. They spent a lot of time studying the skies, looking for signs in the stars and dreams. Back then, if something strange happened in the heavens, everyone wanted the Magi to explain it.
Exactly. In the older Christmas stories, these weren't just 3 random old men on a road trip. They were seekers, trained to spot omens, who dropped everything to follow a celestial clue. So when people online talk about a new Star of Bethlehem and tell the Magi to take the wheel, it actually fits. They were the OG sky chasers, always looking for answers in the stars. And honestly, we're still trying to figure out what they actually saw in the sky back then.
Okay, so these wise men were the ultimate sky watchers. But whenever I picture the Star of Bethlehem, it's just this big, glittery cartoon star leading people across the desert. Was there ever any actual science behind it? Like, what do people think it really was?
There are a lot of theories. Some historians think the Star of Bethlehem could have been a super bright comet, like Halley's Comet. There was actually one visible not long before the period people are talking about. Others think it was a big planetary conjunction, Jupiter and Saturn lining up so close they looked like one shimmering star from the ground. There's even a theory about a distant supernova lighting up the night for weeks. And some folks just say it must have been something totally unexplainable, like a rip in the sky meant for that exact moment. No matter what, it's always that drive to chase after wonder. And honestly, sometimes the wildest surprises aren't up in the stars at all, but show up much closer to home.
It's wild, because just when you think the surprises are limited to the internet or the sky, They end up in your own backyard. Right before Christmas, there's this Miami neighborhood. They found a 6.5-foot Burmese python wrapped around a palm tree. I mean, Fox News, Humane Iguana Control, Florida Fish and Wildlife, everyone confirmed it. Whole families were suddenly nervous about letting kids or pets outside. The snake wrangler who caught it told reporters, "We're seeing snakes in these neighborhoods every month now, even at Christmas."
So if you're sitting there thinking this holiday season just gets stranger and stranger, you are definitely not alone.
Bonnie, with everything you've seen on both the bright and wild sides of the holidays, does any of what's all over the news this year feel familiar to you?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'm completely at home with weird holiday energy at this point. After a Christmas event, I'll still be finding glitter in the weirdest places for weeks. Then, right after a Krampus parade, it's fur and sticks everywhere. So yeah, I've seen the holidays from both sides, and honestly, both can get pretty wild.
There really aren't many people who get to see it from both ends. With all that, do you kind of notice patterns when things get chaotic every year, especially lately?
Exactly. Because this year, the headlines just keep getting more and more out there. And I keep wondering, is there actually a real pattern to it? Or is it just everyone hitting their breaking point?
Yeah, you're onto something. I really do see a pattern every winter. There's always a group chasing that Christmas glow, you know? Then there are the people poking fun, pulling pranks, or just plain sabotaging the vibes. Sometimes on purpose, sometimes not. And just when everyone thinks they've got the season figured out, damn, something totally unexpected throws the whole thing sideways. It's like we all fall into these holiday roles, whether we mean to or not.
That's interesting. When you say roles, what do you see turning up in the headlines right now? Like, can you map those patterns to what's actually been happening this year?
Sure, absolutely. So look at all those families traveling to Christmas movie towns or waiting in line for hours at light festivals. Those are the seekers, searching for the magic everyone keeps talking about. Then we've got all the stories about hackers and scammers, stealing gift cards, sending fake shipping updates. That's your modern-day trickster, showing up to mess with everyone's good time. And the python story in Miami? That's classic holiday disruption. I mean, a giant snake hanging out in a palm tree, right when families are feeling all cozy? It's basically the old serpent at the gate myth showing up in real life. I couldn't make that up if I tried.
When you put it like that, it almost sounds like we're all stuck in some ancient holiday script. Do you think there's something deeper or older behind why people keep chasing after that Christmas magic every year? Or is it just something we do on our own?
Oh, there's a lot to it. People have always, well, for thousands of years, been drawn to really big wonders in the sky. I mean, you hear about the Star of Bethlehem, right? That sent people out on these huge journeys, all looking for meaning, or hope, or, I guess, a real sign. I still see that search every winter. At theme parks in Florida, I see families zigzagging from the light show over to the Santa setup, back to every photo spot. Everyone's just hoping for that one moment that feels downright magical. The blue spiral, honestly, was right in that lane. You could feel everyone watching, thinking, please let this mean something amazing is happening right now. You'd be surprised how often that question comes up among people who run these big holiday events, or even some of the more secretive circles I've brushed up against. There's a whole body of tradition that says this Christmas magic isn't just something we stumble into. Behind the scenes, there are said to be old orders, some tracing themselves all the way back to the Magi, who believe it's their job to keep the spirit of the season strong. They've got rituals, everything from ancient astronomical instruments hidden in clock towers to encrypted schedules and custom tech to kind of tune the world, making sure the right waves of awe and wonder ripple out in December. When you see a whole city swept up by a stretch of good luck, or a festival that just seems to hum with energy, some folks would say that's not just coincidence. It's these guardians quietly working in the background. And if you dig into those stories a little deeper, you start to find hints that all of their work is really about protecting something even more mysterious at the heart of the season. And at the center of all those stories is an even deeper secret, a hidden core that all the rituals and efforts are meant to protect. Among old holiday circles, there's this wild legend about something called the Noel Arcanum. The idea is there's a kind of secret relic, or maybe it's more like a force, tucked away at the heart of the season. Supposedly, the Arcanum gathers up all the genuine awe and wonder people feel right now, almost like a magical battery that keeps the spirit of the holidays charged. Every act of real joy or true surprise, that's its fuel. So when people really show up for those big rituals, or are swept away by a moment of wonder, it's not just tradition, It's like everyone's helping to recharge this mysterious core. But when that energy drops, when too many people fake it, or the world gets overwhelmed with cynicism, the magic doesn't flow as easily, and suddenly people are left hungrier for a sign than ever before. That's why the search for something to believe in, that craving for real wonder, never really goes away, no matter how much the world changes. People are wired to chase awe, to look for the next miracle or sign, whether it's a star in the sky or a jaw-dropping festival. And with the way everyone can see, or share, everything instantly now, it makes you wonder, is it the same old hunger? Or is something about the way we chase it actually changing?
It's wild how that hunger for, a sign seems so classic. But do you think it's really different these days? Or is it just sped up with social media and all the ways people can share the experience?
I think the core need is the same as it ever was. People want the year to feel special, even if it's just for one night. But tech means everything's in real time now. It used to be you'd have to wait for rumors or stories to get around. Now it's like, look up, and half the crowd's got their phones out before anything even happens. I see it every season. Crowds just stop and stare at the sky. And the minute something cool happens, it's already on social media. We've just swapped the campfire for TikTok, basically.
Totally. It's like after that blue spiral, everyone went wild posting memes and videos, and for a minute, nobody cared that it was just a rocket. Do you think that's us passing wonder along, the way people used to swap old Skye stories?
Absolutely. Even if you know the explanation, the real fun is in sharing that feeling. After some holiday fireworks shows, I see grown-ups racing to buy mugs or souvenirs just to freeze that wow moment. That rush of something unexpected. That's the magic folks keep coming back for, year after year.
And it's not just the magic chasers out there, right? There's always that flip side, mischief and chaos, no matter what the year is. Like, you've got Krampus in old stories, and now, every Christmas, it's hackers and scammers messing with people. Do you see that side come alive at your events?
Oh, for sure. Every Winterfest has its troublemakers. Krampus is just the most famous one. And honestly, our events aren't immune. There are always pranksters in masks trying to swipe props or stir things up. Some in the crowd might get annoyed, others cheer it on. And then, online, it's scammers, hackers, all trying to shake things up. Whether it's a masked teen or some random email pawn shop Grinch, there's always a saboteur trying to get in on the fun.
But sometimes those scams and online pranks feel weirdly coordinated, almost like there's more to it than just random chaos.
That's because in a lot of ways, there kind of is. Every December, there are these underground digital groups, basically modern trickster lodges, who see the holidays as their prime season. Some of them actually model themselves after the old Krampus societies. They pass around glitched-out gift files, trade encryption keys as if they're secret badges, and launch big, coordinated holiday mischief campaigns. They flood feeds with cursed memes or send out prank emails, just to push a little disorder into all the holiday hype. It's wild, but honestly, that's just today's version of a much older tradition. Every generation finds its own way to stir up a little chaos during the holidays. It's almost like mischief is built into the season, in one form or another.
Bonnie, has Christmas always had this wild side, or is that more of a modern thing?
It's pretty much baked in from the beginning. Back in England, for example, there were these gangs of mummers, locals in masks and wild costumes, roaming villages right around Christmas. They'd show up at houses, put on noisy little plays, sometimes stage fake sword fights in someone's living room, and ask for food or ale in exchange for a show. If you turn them away, you could expect some harmless payback, like pranks, jokes, or just making a lot of noise until you let them in.
So anti-carolers, but with more mischief.
Exactly. Total holiday chaos, but sort of enchanted too. Most of the time, nobody knew who was under the masks, so for one night, the usual rules went out the window. You could argue mummers were the original Christmas troublemakers, stirring the pot just enough to keep things interesting. And honestly, when you see teens in weird masks showing up at a Krampus parade today, it really makes you wonder, are they tapping into something ancient or just swept up in the spirit of the night?
Bonnie, curious to hear your take on that.
Oh, 90% of the time, it's just the energy, honestly. Most of them are just looking for a laugh or a little drama. But it's funny. The official stuff fades, and it's that wild moment everyone ends up talking about for ages.
That makes sense. And hey, sometimes the troublemaker isn't even a person, like with the Miami python in the palm tree. Bonnie, do you think those animal surprises connect with old stories about serpents showing up in special places, or is that just us making patterns?
Well, I mean, I know there's the snake in the Garden of Eden, but are there really a bunch of myths like that? Why is it always a snake showing up and making everything weird?
For sure. Snakes show up in myths all over the world as these big disruptors. There's the Garden of Eden, where a snake shows up and everything changes. In Norse stories, you've got Jormungandr, this massive serpent coiled around the earth. When it rises, it means the end for the gods. In India, Nagas are big snake spirits that guard temples and springs. When they appear, it means something big is coming. And in Mesoamerica, you've got the feathered serpent, Quetzalcoatl, showing up when the world's due for a reset. So when a snake pops up in a place that's supposed to be safe or festive, the old stories pretty much all say it's a signal that things are about to turn upside down. It's wild how these patterns still show up, even now, right in the middle of the holidays.
It's kind of wild, though. Do you think some people might actually be drawn to that chaos? Like they see the serpent as a sign that something needs to change, not just that everything's ruined?
For sure. In fact, there were whole groups, like the Ophites, these old-school Gnostics, who believed the serpent was actually a messenger, not just a threat. They'd say the snake shows up to break up our routines, shake things up, maybe even deliver some hidden wisdom right when we're about to settle into comfort. Some fringe types even keep that tradition alive, trying to tap into the energy of the serpent just as everyone's gathering and looking for holiday magic. But honestly, you don't even need secret rituals to see that kind of unpredictable, chaotic energy. During the holidays, things have a way of getting wild all on their own. You can plan everything perfectly, but out of nowhere, an animal might crash a holiday display and steal the whole show. And it's not just here. At big festivals and celebrations like Carnival in Brazil, someone always ends up chasing a stray dog off the parade route. There's just something about that festive energy that draws out the unexpected.
Do you think those kinds of moments actually make the holiday better? Or is it just mayhem in the moment and funny later?
Oh, it's mayhem at first, for sure. Nobody's happy when it happens. But give it a week, and suddenly it's become the "remember when" story everybody wants to tell. The year the raccoon crashed Christmas? That's the one they'll never forget.
And when something goes totally off the rails, like a ruined display or a big letdown, do people usually bounce back and do something new, or does the disappointment stick around?
Most bounce back, honestly. I've watched neighborhoods turn a mess into next year's new tradition, like, let's hide a stuffed raccoon in the nativity this time. But sometimes you do see people chasing after the perfect Christmas, again and again, hoping next year the magic will finally land.
So whatever happens, good, bad, or weird, everyone ends up with a story, right? Whether it's chasing after a sky omen, cleaning up after a raccoon, or just laughing about something unexpected.
Exactly. The stuff you can't plan for always turns into the magic. It's never the perfect part that sticks. It's the stuff that goes sideways, the laughter, and the stories you swap for years after. That's what makes it feel real.
Yeah, I think you've nailed it, Bonnie. What's wild is, it's not just those little unpredictable moments at festivals or parades. It's everywhere, even in the biggest holiday stories this year. Like that blue light over Europe. Everyone was glued to their screens, wondering what it meant and swapping theories like it was an omen or something. And honestly, that hunger for meaning when something odd happens around this time of year, it's been with us forever. People have always watched the sky in winter, hoping for a sign. There's the Star of Bethlehem, which shaped the whole Christmas story, or the Fatima miracle in 1917, where thousands said they saw the sun moving in ways it just shouldn't. Even that Norway Skye event a few years ago, when people saw a huge blue spiral appear in the night sky. Every time people think, is this the sign we're waiting for?
Bonnie, for anyone listening who maybe hasn't heard about Fatima, can you lay out what happened there?
Yeah, of course. So, back in 1917, word got out about these visions. Reports of kids seeing something divine in this little town in Portugal. And people started showing up by the thousands, all hoping for a miracle. Then, a whole crowd of them said they watched the sun dance in the sky and change colors. It caused a huge stir. Some people just couldn't stop talking about it for years. That actually lines up with what tends to happen at holiday events all the time. Even when everything is planned, something unexpected can take over. Sometimes the tree lights fizzle out right in the middle of the countdown, and everyone just cheers instead. Or Santa's mic stops working and the crowd takes over singing carols. Nobody can script it, but those are the moments that stick in people's memories.
You know, that energy you mentioned, where everyone gets swept up in something unpredictable, that's got roots way farther back than people realize. In ancient Rome, for Saturnalia, December wasn't just about lighting candles or keeping warm. The whole city went upside down for a week. I mean, slaves would swap places with masters. People wore these floppy felt hats called pileus, and you could walk down the street and see your boss waiting on tables while the servants ran the show.
That honestly sounds like the world's original office holiday party. but with way better hats.
Right? There were wild parties, dice games in the open, and everyone exchanged little gifts. Candles, toys, even weird figurines that were sort of like proto-stocking stuffers. The idea was to let order fall apart, just long enough to shake out the old year's bad energy and make space for renewal. It was pure chaos, but somehow it worked.
So basically, Saturnalia was the ultimate let loose and let the universe take the wheel kind of week.
Exactly. It's the same blend of wildness and wonder that keeps bubbling up every December, along with those figures who stir things up or play the part of the holiday trickster. Whether it's old-school Saturnalia pranksters, Krampus out in the Alps, or digital mischief makers today, that restless spirit never really left.
So all those troublemakers, like Krampus, or even the online scammers now, are they always supposed to be just the bad guys? Or is there a point to them?
It's a great question, and I think there's more to them than just being villains. In a lot of these stories, the trickster or troublemaker shakes things up and pushes people out of their routines. Sometimes that's annoying, yeah, but it can also help us focus on what actually matters, or just snap out of whatever days we're in, you know?
I've seen it plenty of times. Every year there's some kind of mini chaos, like someone sneaking an extra float into the parade, or pranksters pulling last-minute antics. It always messes up the timing, but those are the moments that get the biggest laughs, and nobody forgets the way scammy emails flood in at Christmas. People joke about the digital Grinch now. It's just baked in.
And I think those shake-ups, the stuff you couldn't predict, are wired into the holidays for a reason. Like that Miami python. At first, it's just a strange headline. But when you zoom out, it's a pattern you see in old stories too, like the serpent in Eden, or like Bonnie said earlier, the Nagas in India, showing up just when things are about to change. When you pay attention to these patterns, wonder, mischief, surprise visitors, they all mix together at big gatherings and holidays. And there's even science for this. Sociologists actually study how groups of people get swept up in the moment. They call it collective effervescence. But if the event itself feels too scripted, or if it's just about moving merch, that buzz kind of fizzles. That drop-off is what they call commodification of ritual.
Collective effervescence. That's kind of a mouthful. Bonnie, how do you describe that to people at your events?
For me, it's that energy you feel when a whole crowd is excited together, like everyone is caught up in the same moment. You can plan everything for weeks, but it's always the curveballs. Someone forgets their line, or the power flickers out, or a raccoon crashes the snack table, that end up bringing people together. It's not really about things being perfect. It's about how everyone shares the moment, even when things go off script.
Yeah, exactly. It's that feeling you get at a festival, a pep rally, even a huge family dinner, when everyone's dialed into the same moment. Sociologists have actually studied it for decades. It's a real thing.
And honestly, here in LA, something weird always seems to derail holiday plans. Strange weather, palm trees dressed up for Christmas, or even a sudden flash flood. But those are the stories everyone keeps bringing up.
Right, and it's the same with everything we talked about tonight. A Krampus running wild, a raccoon stealing the show in the Nativity, or even a python in a palm tree. Turns out the chaos is what really makes Christmas stick in your memory.
Yes, thank you, Bonnie. I really mean it. You make the mayhem behind the scenes sound like where the real magic happens. I don't think I'll look at a holiday mishap the same way again.
This was so much fun, you two. My wish is that everyone gets at least one story like that this holiday. Something you couldn't have planned if you tried, but you'll be telling about for years.
Just like Bonnie said, we hope everyone gets one of those wild, funny, or magical moments this season. Something you'll remember, even if things go sideways.
Whatever you celebrate, happy holidays, everyone. And if things get a little odd or off script, pay attention. That's where the best stories start. Stay curious.
Thanks for being here with us this season. Warm wishes and wonderful surprises to all, and we'll see you next time on Spiral Emanations.